You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Leftovers After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Leftovers After Show.
Welcome back, guys, to the Leftovers After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. It's a solemn night. There's mysteries afoot, a murder on our hands. Shirts are missing.
Always, Chief.
But they were found. Were they?
I don't think they were. Now there are shirts missing for real. But for a lot of people are talking. Patty's talking? What?
Yeah.
So much to go over. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. Joining me on tonight's panel, we have the lovely Kelly McInerny.
Hey.
And the ever wonderful
Stephaune
Wallace. I forgot your last name for a heartbeat there. And
It's all good. All good.
Elena Jordan is out tonight. She is
Recovering from Comic-Con,
Yeah,
maybe.
recovering from Comic-Con. I ran up here. I probably could have gotten a speeding ticket.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Good job.
Bolted from San Diego just in time. But I wanted to bring you guys the leftovers.
That's all we get from you, Zach? The leftover? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, there was some creepy leftover stuff down there that I'm going to try to bring in some photos next week. I just couldn't get them off my phone in time. I had a loved one's replica of my face made. Just in case I disappear tomorrow, you guys can have one to bury.
That would scare the crap out of you.
Can a co-host just sit with us too?
We'll put it on the couch.
I just turn to it occasionally for an opinion, be like, okay, I guess he's joined the GR this week.
You could scare the crap out of your family by like sending them that.
You could do the carpool lane all the time.
Oh, I'm going to call them up. There's a new market for loved ones.
You are a progressive thinker. That's awesome.
But so let's get into the big the meaty part of this episode was the murder. Mm-hmm. I mean, what did you guys think? Like that opening was, I was sitting there with my mouth just like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what was gonna happen. I mean, obviously we knew we could see what was happening.
But then she spoke, and you're like, "You guys won. You can stop." And they just no.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah.
So
It hurt. The sound of those rocks hitting was it was painful to watch.
they did good with the visual too. Like every single stone made a new scar and a new bludgeon area.
Yeah.
It was
cool.
great. I thought it was great directing, like just because with when those stones hit, it was just like they would cut and it would just like you would see blood and it would flash and it's just like the blood pouring onto her sneakers of when the wounds opened up. It was it hurt her and it hurt us to watch it.
Yep.
It's like, Kathy, guys, no.
Mystery solved. Her name's Gladys.
Yes. Stop calling her Kathy Geis.
But there's a lot going on surrounding this whole stoning. I don't think that it was. I think that it was planned. It was premeditated.
Who do you think's behind it? I'm curious if you're on the same page as me.
I definitely think Patty has something to do with it.
Yep, I agree.
They open up with, here's Gladys and Patty. They're sitting down. They're having a silent conversation. Mm-hmm. And Gladys kind of nods like, okay, I know what I have to do. So it's kind of like sacrificial, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing holding me back from fully embracing it is that we got that guy being like, for all we know, they did this to themselves. Yeah, and that's almost like too much. Like that felt like a dropping of a red herring in there.
Yeah,
but the pieces fit that I think the GR could easily be behind it. Although if they were, and if Gladys was in on it, why grab her and drag her away like that? Maybe in case somebody saw.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you don't want to do it in the gas station parking lot. People will see.
And they gotta make it look fully like it was somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to. You got to make it look real.
Yeah, and if that is true, then her please don't. That was her really taking back her vows. And if we assume Patty's the one throwing that last stone,
yeah,
yeah,
I think Patty's behind.
It's funny because Patty's like, doubt will burn you alive, and then at the end, she gets burned alive. So I didn't even think of it being Patty until you guys said that.
Doubt is fire.
Yeah,
and she literally gets cremated. I'm like, okay, Patty.
So yeah, if the speaking out loud at the very last moment is doubt, then that's oof.
Well, I mean, I think the doubt, she told the story. Patty was acting, she was really tripping in this one. With Laurie, she's like, you know, she was talking and there was this whole R&R getaway because Laurie has this hyperventilation panic attack or whatever. Yeah. And so it's like, all right, we're gonna have a getaway. But Patty was like on one, and it was something different. She was laughing more, but it was like a creepy, scary laugh. Like there was something behind it.
Yeah, there was something about. So basically, what we get is Laurie has a panic attack after they find, because Laurie's the one who finds Gladys's body. She's the first to see her, and when they're back at the hotel, Meg, who's finally smoking, sees her just like have a full-on panic attack. Like I don't know if you guys have ever been through that, but it is like like I had it like once, like years and years ago, and it's just like everything sort of like your limbs just sort of collapse.
Oh really? I've been through it.
Yeah, it's rough, and especially if there's like I haven't had it just through mental. For me, it was like the whole thing. But
tell us your story, Zach. We are interested. No, seriously, if it can help.
Well, I mean, for me, it was a bad reaction to some medication. Like, so like after I had my wisdom teeth out, like some like. Vicodin's not a good thing to do, even when you're having wisdom
public
teeth
service
pulled.
announcement for everybody.
But like it just feels like everything's collapsing around you.
Okay.
Like I don't know what's holding you up at that point. And so she faints, and they give her some medication to take, and so that's when Patty like takes her away. Like she's like, just get in the van just points at it essentially.
And I kind of thought initially it was like Patty saw Laurie at her breaking point and was like, okay, you know, everybody needs
a break,
just a break here.
But I think it was kind of a test.
That's what it turned into to me.
Yeah, because when she's like, oh, you know, another girl, Gladys also didn't talk, because she's letting her talk, but you know, it's like you can't really trust Patty, even though she's the leader. Something's up her sleeve that's just not right, and so she doesn't talk at all, and she tries to give her like a day as a normal person, I guess, but it's a trap.
Yeah, she gives her real food, like they're not just eating sustenance, oatmeal,
breakfast, all you can eat breakfast.
Yeah,
the best kind of food you could eat.
Eggs, bacon, French toast.
Yeah,
large orange juice.
Laurie is better than me. If Patty would have been like, you can talk today, and then ordered me some food, I'd have been like, sure, girl, you should have said, man. So anyway, we'd have had a good day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
and then that would have been it. She would have been out of the guilty remnant.
I know. You're all done.
Or maybe she would have wound up like Gladys.
But it could have gotten burned.
It was said somewhere in here, though, no one understands what you people believe in. And it kind of, as I'm watching Patty, and she represents the leadership of this whole thing, I'm like, what is it then? You know, they're like, what is the point?
I don't even know if they know.
Right. It's like what's y'all don't even know what you're doing.
Patty seems to be the only person who has any idea what's going on, and she's also the only one who's willing. She like breaks it for the greater good of the organization, I guess. In
front of them, but I think behind their backs, she plays both sides.
There's something. She's up to something that we're just not privy to yet.
I think we did find out a little bit what they do, kind of, or what they stand for, because Meg kind of said we want them to remember something they want to forget. So I think that's what they're trying to do. At least the community. I don't know what Patty wants to do, but I don't know how that you remembering something by taking their photos away.
Right, breaking into their house on Christmas.
Painting everything white, like whiting out the newspaper thing. It doesn't.
It makes no sense.
We are living reminders. I started jotting down all their sayings as I see them around. It's like, we are living reminders. Don't let them forget is written on one of their things. And let us smoke.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Which I was like, that's kind of like, after all the other ones that, like the let us smoke. Or is that like, please let us smoke? Or is it like, let us smoke?
Yeah.
Join me, brothers.
Light it up.
Light one.
And
I wonder if they can smoke anything.
Yeah, what's in those cigarettes? I was thinking the same thing.
It's like, hey, I'm smoking. Just that happened to be weed, but you know.
I'd be a lot more quiet, I feel like.
Yeah, then you can really chill, I guess. I mean, I ain't never smoked weed, but I figure you would be.
But would you really be okay with just oatmeal?
No.
No.
You'd be like, I'm just gonna take this. Did you break up the pot? All right, we just have to eat oatmeal. I'm taking
like,
this
I need a double
whole
portion
thing
today,
away. But so there's like, we get a lot of little moments with Laurie in this one, like when she sees the kid and is like, stop staring, you too. That's like really just like everyone's testing her, testing like her. Is it faith or just commitment? I guess it's commitment, as Matt puts it. Their commitment to whatever this cause is, as he does, because he doesn't understand. Nobody understands it. I'm motioning like with Wild because I don't understand. We're all a little bit lost.
You're literally up in arms right now. I'm up in arms about this.
But Matt's trying, like he at the end, like I thought this was a great. So after she doesn't talk that whole time, like she eats because there's bacon in front of you.
Yeah.
You gotta eat that
You ain't
bacon.
playing that. That's right.
And if there's French toast, I imagine the bacon got a little maple syrup on it. It's probably delicious. Delicious.
I don't know. I'm more for the French toast instead of bacon,
But so,
anyway.
I guess,
I'll eat your bacon.
do you guys have a theory on what exactly Patty is doing there? Like, I have no idea what her game is here.
Yeah.
Except she knew that this is what she needed to do to keep Laurie
She's
in the fold.
a master manipulator. She's a master at it. I mean, putting her in the normal clothes. She played the music in the van ride up. I was like, music? Hold on, you know.
The music comes on, and that's saying for Patty, that's the moment that GR stops.
Right.
Like, click, vacation.
Right.
And then they get back after the whole day, click, no talking.
Right.
Do you think though that Laurie was her therapist or something? Because when she's like the last session before everything changed, maybe that's why she wants to keep her, because she knows Laurie's kind of smart in that sense. Because she said the last session, I'm just thinking like a therapy, because she's kind of spewing all this stuff to Laurie as if it's kind of like therapy for her, or maybe she's just trying to play the game. You know,
I think she's pulling at string, like Laurie's like trying to puppet Laurie a little bit.
I don't know. I want to know who Neil is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused. She like takes the paper bag, and she's like, just like the first time you came to me, and she writes Neil.
Yeah.
And she's laughing about it. It's like a joke, you know.
Or cry laughing.
Yeah, it was a weird. Patty's weird, man, but she's dirty.
She's got something up her sleeve, that's for sure.
I mean, I guess it raises a bigger question of who, like, what are these? Why are all these cults forming? I know, like, at the basic level, it's a reaction to the event that all these, and this one, like, we got a little more view into the bigger cult situation, because we got there's mention of more cults. We have the Heaven's Converts Convent. a cult in Florida that like the police are just raiding.
Right.
After a long step, there was one mention called Tomorrow's Family.
Yeah, I heard that.
We just keep building and building. We got Wayne's people.
Yeah.
We got the GR. What is it? Is it? I guess what are all of their goals? So like Tomorrow's Family.
They just want something to believe in, They just want, obviously they kind of, I feel like they're against God in a way, because if God existed, he wouldn't really do this. I feel like maybe that's what they're thinking. So they have to have something else to believe in. So they create this I don't really know what Tomorrow's Family and the Florida one does, but I'm just assuming like with the Guilty Remnant, that's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to analyze the names to really get into it. Guilty Remnants, like they are at their heart, they're recognizing that we are the leftovers. Like we have to, we are the ones left behind.
Yeah.
So we have to remember that fact. Like, and clearly Guilty Remnants suggest that they did something. They're acknowledging that they did something wrong, right? So they're the leftovers who have done something to deserve being left behind. So I wonder if they are still operating under the theory that the people that left were the saved, like they were the good people.
That's why they're guilty, maybe.
Oh, and so heaven's converts, would that be people who are trying to better themselves in order to I guess maybe they're hoping to be disappeared to get departed?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, we even encountered them, so we can't.
Yeah,
really
we'd be speculating heavy.
I'm just trying to think like what we could possibly, if we can take these pieces, because like these cults are forming all around the country in different things. Wayne's people like are connected through some sort of crazy psychic, either at least they think some sort of crazy psychic thing, potentially the Antichrist, as we talked about last week, with this little baby who are building a growing in Christine that could end the world or something.
Yeah.
I know what's inside you.
Right.
Ugh.
I think more or less it's raising this point to me. The federal government or the FBI or whatever, they're like raiding and killing these cults. They're trying to like exterminate them.
Yeah.
And they literally asked Chief Garvey, they're like, yo, we could just exterminate these dudes if you want.
We finally got a little backstory because we saw it like a few weeks ago when Wayne's compound got raided.
They were shooting them directly,
and
like murdering people.
Yeah.
We didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
It was just all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're the cult's being raided, but like open fire, like no mercy,
No joke.
Everyone's going down. Like the women who in all sense of things, like we're thinking like they've probably been what do you call it? Taken over, but
mind control
or like just like
Brainwashed.
Thank you, Stephen Lemieux in the booth. They've been brainwashed, but they're just shooting them just like anyone else
at will. And that you saw that on that news report. They were like going in on that Florida
and so
one.
now we know I thought this was a really interesting twist. Like after all the stuff, government has to decide who's going to handle all these crazy cults that are growing and growing and growing, and it's the ATF, which is in today's society is the ATFE, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. And they get cults added to the end of it. It's ATFEC.
Right.
And they get jurisdiction over anything that's any crime related to a religious person who is a religious group who is not on basically an approved list of vendors.
Yeah.
Like if you're not on this approved list of vendors for God, you are not okay.
Right. But see how they went over Chief Garvey's head and called the ATF. I think and I'm still trying to string Patty in here somehow, but I feel like somehow or another it's all connected. Like Patty's putting in the word and they're going around like the normal law enforcement, the local law enforcement, and they're going right to the people that they want this whole war to happen. They want it to be a bloody mess. And I think Patty somehow wants that too. She wants her people to be sacrificed. I think it's going to be a weird, twisted thing that she's set up.
Well, now, like, we see at the end of the episode, like, we're jumping around a little bit, but, like, we see at the very end, the body is, they arrive in trucks, like truckloads of bodies and crates, and they're not, like, it doesn't appear to be refrigerated or anything or kept, like...
Yeah, like all over the ground.
Yeah. It just looks like they just take a picture and then just put them on the thing to burn.
I don't know. We didn't... There were 2 different stickers slapped on those crates. One was green. I didn't catch it, but it was like they had a green one and an orange one.
Yeah.
And Gladys got slapped with an orange one, and she went to the fire.
Right.
So I wonder what the difference... Because I didn't see them ever take a picture of her. They just put her on the board and carried her right past everybody to get incinerated. Mm-hmm. I wonder if... What I'm thinking is that if Patty or whoever's, like, behind this did it, if it is Patty, that's why she got sent to the ATFEC, because they knew that she would just be burned, and all evidence is now gone.
Yeah.
Chief Garvey has nothing to go on. Mm-hmm. He has no way to follow up or investigate any further.
She doesn't even have a family, so nobody even cares that she's gone.
Yeah, right? Her son is dead, as we established. He died in Yemen. And so there's a massive conspiracy, I feel like, is building here with, like, that cop, Patty, this guy at the ATFEC who was conveniently just, like, out of town. It's like, oh, that's all automated, you know. I was in Florida. I'm sure you saw it on the news. Yeah. And by the way, we can send in a SWAT team to deal with
exactly, right?
Yeah. Although I guess that kind of takes the Patty and him on the same team thing out of equation, or maybe not. Maybe he's trying to test Chief Garvey
to see if he's down with this boys club that's, like, exterminating people.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, now that he knows that there's a cult there that's, like, possibly having problems, if he'll just go over Garvey's head.
I don't think he would. He didn't seem that much to care that much. You know, he's just like, hey, I can do it if you want. Just give me the okay. No, all right.
And Chief actually struggled with it a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
He was like, man, the headache could be eliminated, but my wife.
Yep, that's why he didn't do it, I feel like, because if his wife wasn't in it,
he might have just
shoot him all.
Oh, absolutely. Well, with that, let's go back to the top of the crime, because we sort of skipped to the end of it. Yeah. But, like, let's start at the top of it, where she's like, we get that quick little montage of her, like, dealing with different people, and, like, we start to feel bad for her when somebody yells, like, F you effing cunt, but a lot more graphic.
I don't feel bad for her.
Well,
because that's how I wanted what I would say to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, they want us to feel a little bit like people are yelling at her for staying there. But then she just, like, an old man trips and is like, his back freezes up and he can't get up. He's on the sidewalk.
Step over.
It's New York in the winter. It's cold.
Yeah.
That old man is, like, struggling to just get his groceries home, and they just, like, walk over him.
And New Yorkers aren't that mean.
No,
they will pick you up.
Especially not. It's upstate, right?
Yeah,
it's not
upstate.
like.
Well, I would argue that Westchester is not upstate, but that's a whole. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And then she's just stoned to death. And the bald man shows up.
The bald man is real.
We find out he's real.
We can confirm that he is real. We've just been led down this crazy path of assuming he's a figment of our imagination.
And he still kills dogs. He still does it in front of people.
His mission.
Yeah.
That's what that's important to him, is getting rid of these rabid dogs. I guess they're not rabid, but, like, these mindless dogs who've just, like, lost it.
Yeah.
The dogs sort of formed a cult. And he's taking them out. He's the ATFEC of the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's storming in. He's like, you dogs are crazy. I'm going
to... In front of the cops. He's like, whatever. Killing these dogs.
He doesn't care. I mean, now they took his gun.
And he's pissed because of the curfew. He's like, no, I don't want a curfew because that's prime time dog shooting time.
And apparently,
nighttime.
This was very interesting. Like, he's not only
dog shooting time.
He's not even worried about being caught by the cops, because he has an arrangement with animal control. Like specifically, he's like, no, I got a thing with animal control, and like, so it's just like, and then he like calls out to the guy, and the guy turns to him, and so we're like, oh, okay, he's real. Yeah. Finally, like multiple people acknowledging him in the same place. God, damn you, writers, with your little tricks of like, is he really? Is he not?
Yeah.
Here's a question for you guys. During the opening, after like the stoning, we get like it's this snap wake up with Chief Garvey.
Yeah, they try to get us again, I think.
Do you think do you think he saw it in a dream at all? Or was that just like a cut?
I think it was just a cut because he didn't seem like he knew anything.
He definitely was snapping out of a dream though.
Yeah.
Just more he's having trouble sleeping, he's on all kinds of pills.
Sure.
But so when he shows up to the crime scene,
I thought it was visually pleasing, though, him waking up without a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I just have to say that.
and then conveniently not having a shirt in the later scenes, he's always like, topless.
They know the fans want to see, if they're going to see Justin Theroux, that's who took his shirts. It was fangirls.
That's right. Jennifer Aniston. I don't know.
But like he wakes up and then there's Patty on his doorstep, and all we can see on the sign is one of our. And she looks distraught, and he's just like, oh no, he knows exactly like this is gonna be bad. There's no good that can come from this, and of course it's only worsened by the bald man being there. And then as we started talking about the ATFEC before, it's interesting the jurisdictional stuff going on here, because as like they're clearly, I wonder if this is trying to set us up on some kind of like, is the government behind the departed
disappearing,
or is this just a way of them tracking? I mean, I don't think the government's actually involved. I think this is like some form of them trying to establish why these people are going to cults could definitely be connected, like directly connected with what is going on with the departed, like how everyone disappeared. I mean, we talked a little bit in like the early part. It seems less and less true as we go on that maybe these people in the GR are all the ones, or in cults are the ones who actually like witness. Like we're looking at a person and then they just boom, we're gone. Which I can't imagine what that would do to somebody's psyche. Even worse than them just disappearing, like to stare at somebody vanish.
So we think that some people actually witnessed it.
Yeah, it seems
like eyes on though. You think?
Well, some
people had to.
Right?
Yeah,
that car just disappeared. I mean, the people in that car. I don't know.
Like either that or like, I want to see like camera footage of what. Like we haven't seen that yet, and maybe we don't. Maybe we don't need to. Maybe it wouldn't deal with anything. But I want to see what happens. I want to see what exactly it looked like, because the only thing we saw was the baby's there, pan up, pan down, baby's gone.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to see
the footage.
Yeah.
But there has to be something.
I don't think they want you to. I think they just want you to focus on like what the people after dealing with it.
I mean, that's the two schools of thought on this whole thing. The whole show is. Because the character drama we're getting is strong, is like it's all interconnected, and how this character is reacting to everything in the cult and how everyone in the world is dealing with this is fascinating. But the sci-fi nerd in me wants to know. I want to know what's happening.
I think we all want to know, but I feel like they're not going to give it to us.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like maybe eventually they will need to give us something. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it's necessary or just a total wash? Like, don't bother.
I mean, I would like to, I think, but I think the way the show's going, it's not really necessary.
Yeah, we've got so much to kind of unravel and figure out here. We can't even begin to scratch the surface of the disappearance. It's like, I'm still tripping that the mayor said to Chief Garvey, she goes, I trust you to handle this whole curfew situation, but I'm hoping it's not like a part of your family situation that's influencing this, to let us know Chief she understands his
Well, I mean, she's his...
either mental or spiritually in tune.
Yeah. She's his...
Mother-in-law.
So she kind of knows what's up, that he's...
Stepmom.
Yeah.
She's stepmom.
Well, guys, we're gonna take a quick break before we dive into. We're gonna dive into what Chief's struggle with the ATFC and his dealings with Jill. But first, I want to talk to you guys real quick about iTunes. Guys, we do this podcast every week. It's so much fun for us. It's so much fun, I hope, for you guys to listen to. And part of how you can help us out here, just to real quick, I know we do this every week, but I want to just remind you guys, it makes a world of difference for you to go onto iTunes, go onto YouTube, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. It helps raise just the awareness of the show, of the whole network, and it really does make a difference. And when you leave us a quick 5-star review, we always appreciate it, and you get a shout out on the show.
Yeah.
I want to shout out to Muggle Mom too. Harry Potter fan. She says, I really enjoy this podcast. The Leftovers is a series that lends itself to lots of discussion. I look forward to listening after each episode of the show.
Thanks, Muggle Mom.
Yes, thank you for listening. I don't know why I did that just there. So let's jump back in. So we got Chief Garvey dealing with the ATFEC, and he's basically like his curfew, his solution to the problem until he can figure this out is a curfew.
I think that's a good. I mean, that's a good cop idea. You know.
I thought it was. Well, what's it really gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, it's not effective. Like, people, like, one guy's like, I work nights. What do you? He's like, well, if you gotta go to work, then it's like, well, then where do you draw the line? Like,
yeah.
I think the whistle thing was better though. How he just gave him all, because he said he doesn't have the means to protect you. Well, you got lots of whistles. That's protecting them, kinda.
Yeah. No, it's he can't like shut down the whole town because these people are putting themselves in dangerous situations. Like, I get it, it's a small town and violence in that kind of town is rare, and it really can set it off. Like, I know growing up in a similar town, since it's like literally where this thing is shot.
Yeah.
When we had a couple of instances with really violent stuff happening, and the whole town goes nuts because you're not used to this.
Right.
It's scary to think, because when you're not used to it, for it to come into your backyard, but to shut down the whole town, that's too far. I was on the town side.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I just thought he was trying to protect everybody, and
it's absolutely coming from a good place.
Yeah. I guess in theory you're right. It probably wasn't a good idea because people do work nights, and it's nobody else is really getting harmed aside from the GR. It seems like
you're an adult.
Yeah.
You're a grown-up taxpayer. Don't tell me to stay in the house.
We did see the first helpful reaction from Patty, though. Again, just like something up with her in this whole murder, because he asked her, like, while I'm dealing with this, I need you to get your people off the streets. I don't have the resources to protect you. And he's like, I know, you're going to tell me to F off. And she twists it, of course.
She's like, of course we will. And so I'm like, okay, if you can get her to say of course to that, scratch the curfew, because the townspeople aren't in danger. Mm-hmm. It's the GR that's in danger. So if she'll say of course to keep her people inside, now let's have a second conversation. Now cease and desist everything, because you're putting all these other humans in danger. These walking silent idiots. Help them, free them.
Yeah. It's tough because you want to protect them, but they're causing the problem.
So shut them down.
Like, if you're out there poking people and you get punched in the face,
shut them down.
Yeah. Well, where does you draw the line on religious freedom though? Because you can't just tell them they can't do their thing, because they're not doing anything illegal. He already arrested them for trespassing when they weren't trespassing.
Sure.
Let's not forget that.
I think Reverend Matt has a good point about the GR, about how he says that they're kind of dead already.
That was a fascinating point. I love that. And
how he wants to save them. So instead of like shutting them down or killing them, just like bring them back to how they used to be.
But how's he gonna go about it? I liked him.
He tried to.
He did.
Well, let's talk about the
that
theme.
Stupid whistle.
Yeah.
Stupid Laurie. Don't like Laurie.
Well, there's a whole theme going on here, and Matt, I think, played a big part in it of stone throwing.
Yeah.
And then we have the literal stone throwing that we open on, and then your brain jumps to like, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Yeah. But they go into this story, and I was not familiar with this story of Jesus taking the guy aside and giving him 3 sayings, and when he comes back, he says, if I tell you what he said when they ask him, you'll stone me, and fire will come from the stones and consume you.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy deep, especially with all the stones and the fire going on in this episode. Right, I mean, what did you guys hear with that? Do you think that is it the guilty remnants have a truth that they are like this suggests that they're afraid to speak about it?
That they're afraid to speak the truth, so they stay silent. I don't know. I feel like maybe Patty might. I don't think all of the GR does. I think they're just following. Follow the leader. But maybe it's a good
Patty. Yeah, I mean, there's something. I think there's something interesting there that like the idea of not speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Which again is baffling me because I'm going, okay, so you're not speaking the truth. You guys have all this stuff suppressed inside to the point where you've gone radio silent, and why? Let's talk about stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like he and then Matt talks about like I understand your commitment. Like he's like I understand
and
that
I respect
passion.
it. I respect
and Matt
it.
has he's built up his nice little church group now. I mean he's living happily on his winnings. So, but he's got his church group and he wants to help. He wants to help them deal with the loss and the love of like he's like I don't even know if you call her a friend, but your friend like. Let me help you. And of course Laurie basically with a whistle spits in his face,
which I think that was speaking to when Patty talked to Laurie about Gladys. She was saying that Gladys what'd she say, she began to feel again and she was struggling with her commitment, which I think Laurie blowing the whistle was to let Gladys know Patty know I'm not struggling. I'm here. I'm not feeling. I'm blocking that out, and I'm on board.
And she was so emotional in that moment right before she ran out. Like, I thought she was going to cry and break down and run out and, like, hug Matt. Like, well, where does that take us?
I wanted her to.
Me too. Me too.
So, real quick, I want to talk, like, we'll just go really quick through Garvey and Jill, and then I have one more topic I want to talk about. The white shirts are missing. Yeah. Weird. I wonder if Laurie broke in and like took the shirts, or the GR like took the shirts when they came for the pictures, and that's how they get all their white stuff. They just steal it from people.
Maybe.
And Chief just loses it. I think he's dealing with the divorce. Is really what this is about.
Which he even admits to Jill. Finally.
Yeah, he finally tells her. I mean, she walked in on it, but I guess she didn't know. And her being okay with it just sent him down.
Well, she wasn't. I mean, there's 2 moments I think that are essential to this whole thing. Meg and the look in her eyes when she told Chief, "She is not your wife anymore." That was it. It was like it killed him. That was the last bit that he had left. And he's like, "I know what I got to do." With Jill, he shows up at the school, and it's not even for Laurie, and Jill loses everything. And is going nuts. She breaks down because she loves her mom that much. She had that moment. She realizes it's not about my mom. And then she composes herself and she goes, you know what? I shouldn't have cried. She wouldn't cry for me. And she it's now suppressed.
Okay.
Right to the heart. Like that was a blow. Like I think she cried on reaction.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's only when you really think about it, when you dissect it, that like she's like, no, that she doesn't deserve my tears because she's given up on us. And the alarms are disabled,
which makes you think somebody was indeed stealing those shirts.
Or could it be Jill? We know that Jill is like, she steals stuff now. Could she be stealing all of his white shirts for fear that he would leave and go to the GR?
No.
I don't think
she's like, if he doesn't have any white clothes, he can't possibly join the GR.
I don't know.
I don't. I think he definitely wouldn't join the GR just because he's too protective.
I would.
Yeah.
I'd show up to get my wife. I'd show up to the GR. I'd be like, hey, I don't want to talk. Y'all ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm in. I'm down for whatever the cause is.
Put my bed next to Laurie.
Right. And I'd be working on her. We gonna get up out of here, baby. I got a plan.
Could it be Amy?
Yeah, Amy is a little bit of an enigma.
Where's her parents?
I know.
Does she live This is something I'm confused about. Does she live with them?
And why is she always borderline?
Because she has her own room apparently. But
she's always borderline pushing the pedophilia thing with
Garvey.
Yeah, she walks out in her nightie and she's like, "I'll make some coffee."
And even how she says it, listen to her tones. Yeah. It's always little kind of sexual undertone.
If I was a high schooler and my friend's dad looked that hot, hey,
that's why she's always over there. But so I want to talk about this. It's this little thing. We've only got it for it was just a heartbeat, and I had to go back to like make sure it was there. The stoplight.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys pick up on this? This is the second time we've seen this. It also happened to Matt a few weeks back.
But Matt was also in this car, so maybe it's like a Matt thing.
Maybe. Oh, that's true. Because the stoplight, in case you guys missed it, jumped from green to red. It skipped yellow, and this is the second episode that's happened in. And she feels like whoa, and he slams on the brakes to stop.
But Matt just grinned because it happens to him. I think maybe.
It's just, well, I'm wondering, but why? What's the cause behind it? Like, what could it be? Could it be that this is just that there's no slowing down anymore? Everything is full go or full stop.
Or is it giving you kind of like what you need in that moment? Matt had 3 pigeons, and it was red. This time it was like Chiefs going on this situation with Gladys, and Matt's trying to give him kind of this
he needs
parable.
To stop and listen.
And he needs to stop and listen. So it's like, boom, it happens for him. Hear the parable, hear the truth that's in this. And when he does get down to, it's easier to stay silent than to speak, the truth, Chief is kind of like, oh, wait a minute. I get what's happening with my wife. I get what's happening in this whole freaking crazy cult world.
I like it. Anything else that stood out to you guys in this episode?
Meg is now one of them.
Yeah.
100%.
Meg is ready.
Meg has joined the white side.
Yeah. That
sounded weird. But I mean, this is a natural progression, I think, for her.
I'm just surprised. I thought she was still conflicted, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess not.
I think it was seeing like the murder, like she was like, no, this is important now.
Yeah.
This was and again, this is more fuel to I think Patty's behind this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it was like, no, this like drove passions forward for a lot of these people. Maybe it'll bring more people over to their side.
Yeah.
Bring compassion to them instead of getting rocks. Like they're already getting rocks thrown at them in the streets. Yeah. Maybe this is like, whoa, let's
and don't forget, Gladys was the one who got Slurpeed too. She took a lot of punishment.
Yeah.
Pre-death. But one of the things I don't like is if you start this cult, right? And ultimately I want to believe that you're doing something to bring about some type of love or some form of redemption or redemptive quality. And with the GR, it's so confusing. You watch Meg go from being a person that had a soft heart and was a gentle woman to episode after episode, she's gotten harder and meaner. And, and same thing with Laurie. You could tell Laurie was such a sweet, easygoing type person. Episode after episode, she's become like this cold, staunch. Where's the love? I don't understand the GR.
The GR takes away the love. Let's move into a real quick round of predictions. So real quick, what do you guys think we got coming up in the next season? We got 5 episodes left.
We're gonna see a connection between Patty and the outside world. She's working both sides of the fence.
Kelly, what do you got for us?
I don't know. I think. Kevin and Nora are going to get it on.
We got a little bit more of that flirty stuff going on. I think that I think you're right on with Patty. I think the ATF's EC is going to move into the town. I don't think we've heard the last of that agent.
Yeah.
He's coming, and we're going to meet him. I think we're going to meet him soon. It's going to be dark. All right, with that, let's give sign-outs. Kelly, where can people find you if they want to catch up with you later?
You could find me at Holly Weirdo on Twitter and Instagram, and the Crossbones After Show here on AfterBuzz.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @IamMoreFire. And if you want to watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, holla at your boy. I'm on the After Show.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at @ZachWilson. Also here at AfterBuzz on The Strain, Dominion, and MasterChef. I'm Zach Wilson, and thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.